Hello, everybody. It is my D, the Renegade, coming to you to drop a seed of release and restoration. I consider myself an LEL, lived experience leader. And so it is my experiences that I believe, in a sense, qualifies me to give you a word, that gives me the qualification of my D. And also, I have five adult children, and I'm a grandmama almost seven times. So I'm a little OG. I'm a little OG. My word hold a little weight, right? Um, anyway, for you see the shadow. So I'm learning how to film because to me it was just like turn on the recorder and just say what you gotta say. But um, my fiance has been teaching me different techniques, and so I see the shadow behind me. But it's really important that I get this message out. I actually recorded two other messages, and I just didn't feel that they were good enough to release. So I made another one, and so we're gonna get this out. Anyway, this video, as you saw in the title, is called Spiritual Soul Ties and Prostitution. Now, as some of you may or may not know, I um, have empowered myself out of the life of prostitution by way of spiritual enlightenment, education, family support, dealing with my traumas, a number of things that has helped me evolve into who I am today. And so, just like maybe losing weight or becoming rich or growing your hair out, whenever you learn a technique, sometimes people want to know, well, how did you do it? How did you get out? Or what do you see? And so prostitution, to me, was a mindset and a lifestyle. And even when I was involved in prostitution, I always said I had a mind of a pimp. You understand? Meaning I saw, you know, um, something out of people that I wanted, and I was willing to manipulate them in every way, to get what I wanted because it was just all about gain, self gain. And so, anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get to the point. So we're talking about spiritual soul ties and sex, but we're gonna bring prostitution in this because even if you're just in a relationship, say it's your first love, and you have sex with him, and you guys break up, and you always hold on to that. You like, he was my first love. He took my virginity, and I know that I'm all about women's empowerment, but I'm not discounting men under any circumstances. So if you hear me refer to she and her and using those, hey, forgive me, but I'm sure there's something that you men can learn as well because spiritual soul ties go both ways. It's not just on women; it's on men too. But mm, anyway, so it's important to understand that when you have sex with someone, that there is a piece of you that is released, your spiritual soul that is released, right? And it goes entwines with the other person's spirit. And there's a piece of them that is released and it entwines with yours. And so even if you're not involved in prostitution, sexual exploitation, you need to understand that every person that you had a sexual engagement with, that you opened up your spirit in your sexual body to, has a piece of you, and you have a piece of them. And even though your flesh, even though you haven't talked to them, even though you haven't kissed them in 20 years, even though you're married, you've had kids, a part of them is still there. And what I've learned through my walk, and I'm not telling you nothing that I didn't have to do myself. Yeah, have you ever had that ex? And it might not even just be your first love, but that ex, and you just like, have you singing the Usher and Alicia Keys song? It started when we were younger. You were my boo. No, I cannot sing. I know. Let me just show them out. I tried. I was just trying to be a Chinese, you know. And you just like, oh, like you have to just pray, put some blessed oil on your brain, your scalp or something. Help me stop thinking about this man. Oh, that was my fool. But I'm with you now. But if he ever, but I'm with you now, right? So that's a spiritual soul tie, and some of us have spiritual soul ties with people that we choose not to acknowledge. So anyway, bringing it back to prostitution. Now, when it comes to working in this lifestyle, oh wow, the anti-human trafficking community gonna kill me because it is not work. Okay, some people think it's work, some people don't. I'm not about to get into the controversy. I'm really just trying to give a message of deliverance. So let me check myself. If you are engaging in prostitution, now there is an element of sexual exploitation called human trafficking. I can't even touch on that right now in this video. But it is important to know for advocates, for spiritual leaders who want to help those involved in this lifestyle, that there is a spiritual bondage. There is a spiritual bondage that occurs each time a person engages with someone else sexually. So if you are involved in prostitution, and we're just going to throw a number out there, we're talking about a full-time, full-fledged, and say you have 3 to 5 clients a day, and they change daily. Each of those people took a piece of you and left a piece of them. There are soul ties that, have you ever just woke up in the morning and you just angry and you just mad, you have an attitude, or have you ever just witnessed like different behaviors or like different things and you like, that is not like me. Like what am I, like what's different? Or a woman or a man getting a sense that their mate has been sexually involved with somebody else. That's because spirit recognize spirit. And see, what you need to understand is that as you are engaged with all of those spirits, and then you come home to your wife or your husband or whoever, even your children, you bring them spirits back. And so we need to understand that it's not just sex. It's not just an exchange for money. It's not just oral. It's deeper than that. And so as we begin to assist and empower people towards lives of empowerment, we must understand that even if we remove them from a place physically, and maybe they get out of this lifestyle and they're going to school and they're working and they're not living in that lifestyle, they still have the spirit on them. They still have the spirit of their purchasers. They still have the spirit of their pimp. Do you know that there are pimps out there that use spiritual manipulation to control, to recruit those that they pimp on? I'm giving you some real game. I used to have a saying, the game is to be sold, not told. I used to really believe that. But the truth of the matter is that you better go tell, and you better tell it on the mountain. Because we are in a spiritual battle. And it's not about pimping and prostitution. It's not about that. What I'm saying is, it is the spirit of betrayal, the spirit of manipulation, the spirit of power and control. The spirit, not physical, nothing you can put behind bars, nothing that you can tangibly grasp. But people engaged in this are in spiritual bondage. Those who engage are kind of like, if you have a cold and you kiss your child, they'll get sick too. It's contagious. The spiritual bondage is contagious. And you think just because your daughter or your son or your baby, they're at home and they don't know nothing about what you engaged in. And but what you don't realize is that the spirit you can't see because you're looking for something tangible for a body, and the spirit is in you. Now I'm not gonna take too much of your time, but we need to get to the root of the issue. It reminds me of my hair. Sometimes you gotta clip the ends to get it to grow right. Or if you have a plant, sometimes you gotta just dig up the plant and just uproot it and replant it. And so the truth of the matter is, we can come from all angles. But the truth of the matter is, it's a spiritual battle. Some of you may or may not have heard of the incubus and the succubus, but they are spiritual demons, sexual demons. Life is brought through sex. There is power in that. So whether you're in the life, out of the life, whether you're buying sex or selling it, you have soul ties to people, places, and things that are keeping you from your destiny. If you're trying to get out, you need to release your soul ties. You need to forgive yourself. You need to release the soul ties. If you're buying sex, you need to forgive yourself. You need to release the soul ties. It is the spirit of guilt that prevents you from seeking help. Spiritual leaders, you need to provide a safe, non-judgmental space for those that want to come up out of this. We're not talking to those that want to stay. Oh, the battery goes low. We're going to finish this video. We're not talking to those that want to stay in bondage. We're talking to those that want to be free because, see, power and control and manipulation and force and enslavement is all about making someone and encouraging them to do something against their will. And if this is not your will, then hey, this isn't for you. We love you. Whenever you're ready, you come on over. But for those of you that's really trying to break free and you like, I cannot stop doing this. I can't stop buying it. I can't stop selling it. I can't leave these females alone. Spiritual bondage. Go deep. Spiritual leaders. Provide a place. Provide a place for men to talk about pornography. Provide a place for in safe non-judgment spaces for men and women to talk about their issues, their adultery. And then again, but before you all do that, you spiritual leaders that fight with lust and spiritual bondage, go back and heal yours. Because if you don't, you really are no good. That's how come you're praying and praying and praying for people and nothing is breaking. You're not destroying no yokes. And I know that the power is will because I have seen it manifest and work in my life. And I have seen it work in the lives of those that I've come in contact with and have been blessed to empower. And so I encourage you to get right within yourself, deal with your spiritual hidden sexual demons, renounce those spirits and all of those women from your past lives and all of those men from your past lifestyles. Those thoughts that are in your mind, acknowledge them, talk about them, get them out, stop burying them. Do you know how many women who are hurting right now because their husbands are sleeping with prostitutes? Do you know how many men are battling with sexual addiction because they can't stop going out there sleeping with other women and buying prostitutes? It's not even really a punishment thing. It's a mental thing. It's psychological and spiritual, you see. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They are mighty. By pulling down strongholds, bringing into captivity everything that exalted itself against the word of God, and that is the sexual addiction. Let's deal with this. Let's bring it to the forefront. There is spiritual manipulation going on in the sex realm, and sex is the key to life. Women and men involved in prostitution You have spirits and spirits and spirits and demons and generational curses of other people. You are passing them on to your family members just like the flu. I'm going to have to make a part 2 video because I'm going to have to help you work through this. We're going to work through this. We are going to work through this and we're going to get through this. So until we meet again, Ma D the Renegade, dropping seeds, your LEL, lived experience leader. Peace.